Hey everybody, and welcome back. Genesis chapter 28 today in 5 minutes. If you haven't been watching this series, we've been trying to go through every chapter of the Bible, one chapter a day, and our goal is to make it through the whole thing. Lord willing, we will do that and create little PDF outlines for all the chapters, which you can download on our website for free. There's a link down in the description. In each chapter, we try to answer the important questions of who, what, when, where, why, and then draw an application at the end. So let's start with the question when. When did the events of chapter 28 take place? Well, if we utilize some details in some surrounding chapters, it seems safe to say that the events of this chapter happened sometime between the years 1816 BC and 1757 BC. We've already been introduced to most of the main characters. The first one is Isaac. He is the son of Abraham and the father of Jacob and Esau. We have Rebekah, who is his wife. We have Esau, who was the firstborn of Isaac and Rebekah, and Esau was the favorite of his father Isaac. And then we have Jacob. Jacob's the twin brother of Esau, and he was the favorite of Rebekah, his mother. And if you remember, in Genesis chapter 27, Jacob stole the blessing from his brother Esau by tricking his father. Then we're going to be kind of reintroduced to a key character in the next couple chapters, and that is Laban. Laban was the brother of Rebekah and Jacob's uncle. And as we consult the map, it appears that Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, they lived in Beersheba at the beginning of this chapter. Now, Jacob is going to leave Beersheba, and he's going to go about 550 miles north to where Laban lived, and that was the land of Haran, also called Padan Aram or Paddan Aram. But before Jacob gets to Haran, he's going to make a stop in a place called Bethel. And so now we'll go over a short outline of the chapter and hit on the key sections. The first section, verses 1 through 5, Isaac sends his son Jacob away to Haran to find a wife. Isaac and Rebekah didn't want Jacob to marry one of the Canaanite women because Esau had married some of the Canaanite women and they had made Isaac and Rebekah's life hard. And so Isaac blessed Jacob and he asked the Lord to fulfill his promises that he had made to Abraham through Jacob and through his descendants. And so then Jacob was instructed to go to Haran or Padan Aram to the house of Laban. And so then we step away from Jacob's story for just a short period of time in verses 6 through 9, and we talk about Esau. Esau marries Mahalath. As I had mentioned, Esau previously married two Canaanite women. Their names were Judith and Basemath. We know that from Genesis chapter 26. But when he saw that his parents were displeased with the Canaanite women, he actually went and found a new wife, a daughter of Ishmael. You remember Ishmael was one of Abraham's sons with Hagar, an Egyptian servant. Right, so this was one of his relatives. So he went and married this woman probably to garner some favor with his parents. And so then in our last section, verses 10 through 22, Jacob's dream and the ladder to heaven. So Jacob departed Beersheba, and he was on his way to Haran. Now, that was a long journey. He made a stop and, quote, a certain place, and he laid down to sleep and used a stone for his pillow. And that night he had a vision, a dream of a ladder that stretched all the way from the earth up to heaven, and there were angels ascending and descending down the ladder. The Lord stood above the ladder, and he promised Jacob that his children would become as numerous as the dust of the earth, and that many nations, all nations, would be blessed through them. God promised to be with Jacob on his journey up to Haran, and eventually to bring him back to the land of Canaan. Jacob was pretty stunned. He was shocked by what he saw, and he declared, quote, "This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." So in the morning, Jacob got up and he erected a pillar of stone and he anointed it with oil, and he named the location Bethel. And he vowed that he would worship the God of his father Abraham if God would keep him safe on his way up to Haran and then bring him back to Canaan one day. That's Genesis chapter 28. Now let's finish up with our application. When you're confident that the Lord is with you, it makes it easier to step out into the unknown. Jacob was about to make a 500-plus mile journey to a place that he had never seen before. But no doubt, the Lord appearing to him and promising him that he was going to be with him and going to keep him safe was a great comfort to Jacob. We all face situations where the future is uncertain, but we can face the future with confidence knowing that God is always with his children. God has reassured us that he is never going to leave us and he's never going to forsake us. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5.